Hey guys, today I get to share something pretty exciting with you guys. We've just done a bit of a build recently of putting 35s on a 200 series. So anyone that's seen my channel has seen I've been running 35s on my Prado for probably about 12 months, and I really love it. The off-road ability's just gained to the next level. But mine aren't even real 35s, to be quite honest with you. They're the 315/70/17, so they are about 34.4 inches when you actually measure them. So to put a proper 35 on mine probably wouldn't work. So anyway, we wanted to see how hard it would actually be to fit to a 200 series. So the boys here were doing a build, and there's a national shortage on tyres. We originally weren't even going to go to this extent, but with basically the only available tyres in the mud tyres that we're sort of after was in a 35, 12.5, 18. So we all sat around the table and we sort of thought, well, how hard could it be? So we thought, let's give it a go. So anyway, long story short, it is a lot easier than a Prado. There's been no body lift done to this vehicle at all. So we're just running the standard suspension lift. It's an Old Man Emu BP51 suspension lift. Nothing really too special about it. It's got the GVM upgrade of about 4 tonne. Same in the rear. The rear has 400 kilo load springs in the rear with the Airbag Man coil helpers. So that's mainly for the towing and stuff they'll be doing with their signature camper trailer brand or even their toy Tuff stuff. So that should help with there. So really, suspension wise, there's nothing really too exciting that's really happened to achieve this. So the UCAs at the moment are even still standard. We were sort of going to see how that goes, but we ended up keeping the standard ones for now. Seem to work fine. We don't have any rubbing going on there. So this is actually a Sahara model, so it does have the KDSS. So there's a bit of a modification on the side, on the left-hand passenger side, which I'll show you a little bit later. Just on swapping some bolts around, and we've got some relocation brackets from Superior or Black Hawk, whoever you can get them from. So that's sort of one of the main upgrades. You need a good wheel alignment, but we didn't have to go to the extent of the adjustable UCAs. We just managed to do it on the lower control arms. And we have done a body mount chop, which we got the experts to do at Ultimate Stretchers. So they done a really neat job of that. And then underneath, we just done a little bit of pin and back of the guards. We've removed the front mud flaps completely. And in the rear, I don't think we really done much at all. I think they pretty much went straight on. So a bit of a rundown on the wheel specs. These are a Tough 18-inch wheel. So we've stuck with an offset of plus 25. So that seemed to offer the best clearance on the inner side of the control arm. Just in here, seem to work quite well. There's not too much poke really either side. There's a little bit more on the other side, so to combat that we just need to get an adjustable panhard rod. So it's probably because this lift's actually sitting quite high in the rear at the moment, because it's got a fair bit more gear to go on the back here, so it's actually getting a rear bar and drawers put on the inside. So once all that goes in, the rear should come down a bit. So that might even combat some of that tracking that we're seeing, but until then. So you see the front here sitting pretty nice. I'll just go around the other side now and show you this KDSS and why it was a little bit of an issue, but we've managed to sort it. Righty, the fun part. So if anyone's familiar with the KDSS system, it has this arm coming down here, which is pretty much the reaction arm straight to your control arm there. So this bolt here became a little bit of an issue. As the wheel turns in, it was contacting this, but standard, this bolt is actually the other direction. So that nut's a little bit larger on that side. So what we ended up doing was just turning this bolt around so it faces that way now. So this head is a bit cleaner and doesn't stick out as far. So that sort of It is close, guys, like there's not a heap of clearance in there, but we can get it to work, and we've done a few kilometres now to warrant that it's not going to break. So in the mix of doing the build, we actually ordered these pretty early. These are the KDSS relocation brackets, if anyone's wondering. So what that effectively does is the mounting points for the KDSS is here. So all it does is move it forward that preset amount, which hopefully pulls this bolt forward a bit. But the only thing is, it does put this link here, this KDSS link, on quite a forward angle. So we're not actually sure if we're going to install it yet or not. We will probably put it in for a test run, and whether it stays in and we keep it, we're not sure yet, but that's what that is. So that's another option if anyone runs into any dramas. You can try one of those. Bit of a look in here behind the wheels, so a fair bit of room in there. My Prado is nearly touching, and I had to modify all this pinch weld and pretty much struggle to even get any inner guards in there. So yeah, there's obviously a lot more room. Could probably get away with a bigger tyre, to be quite honest with you. We'll go around to this side. So this is the body chop that was carried out by Ultimate Stretchers. You would not even know anyone's touched it or modified that at all, which is actually what you want when you're doing that sort of modification. A little bit of trimming of this side guard there, so that's what we've ended up with. It's a bit hard to film in here, and just pinning back, try to get in here. We've just done a little bit of extra work from when it come back from there, and we just pinned it back tight into there, literally with a Tech screw, and then just painted over it again. So that all hugs in there pretty tight, and then that's all we really needed to be able to clear this. So occasionally you do get the slight rub, but it's really not that bad. So we're able to retain the rear mud flaps completely. One thing to note though, you cannot actually fit a 35 underneath. So that might be a bit of a showstopper for some. Wasn't too much of an issue for these guys because they've got a Kmart rear bar coming with a swing away carrier. So they plan on actually putting the tyre on the back, but it's actually not in stock at the moment, is it?
No, waiting patiently.
So we're waiting patiently for a rear tyre carrier. So there you go, guys. That's a 200 series KDSS on true 35 by 12.5. So pretty impressive. We've taken it out into the bush out in Safala and Turon River. Played a couple of clips through this video, but yeah, thanks for watching.